Hey, what's up everybody? It's RJ here and welcome back to the Find Your Flow channel. And today I just wanted to sort of carry on the conversation. Last week we were talking about doing things to experience some of that discomfort. We're all facing a lot of uncertainty and I'm seeing a lot of people feeling challenged right now with the state of the pandemic and, all the anxiety that's building around that. If you're around the area, the weather's starting to shift and get a lot more gloomy. We're starting to see longer nights and shorter days. And all of that contributes to just feeling not as optimal and not as fired up to get out and challenge yourself or just feel your best. And something that you may have noticed if you are on the FlowSpa Instagram or anything is that we had just done a Wim Hof workshop here over the course of the weekend. And it was super inspiring to see all these new faces come together and challenge themselves in a way that I think a lot of people are very uncomfortable about and are not willing to do. We all got into that cold tub at about 39 degrees, which is around 3 or 4 Celsius. And for a lot of them, it was the first time they've done something like that. And it's really cool when you're able to push yourself with challenges like this. And that's something that I think the Wim Hof method and just the people that follow Wim and the things that he's promoting are getting really good at, is able to put yourself into these situations where you are uncomfortable, but also really learning to develop this greater mindset that can really change your life in a lot of different ways. And I've talked about, the pros and cons of the Wim Hof method in the past in other videos. And I do like the method for certain reasons. And I also really like these workshops. They are totally like a game changer if you've never been to one of these Wim Hof workshops, where you learn more of the fundamentals of the method, as well as some of the deeper practice or the deeper experience you get when you've got a certified Wim Hof method instructor. And in our area, we've got Ashley Orr, who is on Instagram as iceplunge.ash. Definitely follow what she does. And if you can get out to one of her workshops in your area, it's well worth it, because she does a really great job making everybody feel comfortable and bringing people together in this really cool way to create like a new sort of tribe. And that's something that I think is a good component of the Wim Hof method. And people known as Hoffers who do practice the Wim Hof method is that it's a very close community. It's often tied in with float centers a lot for whatever reason, I guess just because these are somewhat alternative or cutting edge health practices that haven't been completely mainstream just yet, and they're still getting there. So a lot of people sort of overlap in those two communities and come together a lot. And at FlowSpa, that's something that I wanted, was the ability to do some of these alternative practices for sports recovery and for mindset and just developing yourself as a greater person. And the cold water definitely does that, I've found. So, like at this point, cold plunges for me aren't very challenging. Like I can do it without any hesitation, because it's kind of weird. It's hard to explain, because most people have this hesitation or this fear of the cold water. They get fired up and get that adrenaline release before going in. But for me, it's, I guess, just with lots of practice, you no longer feel so scared going into it, because you're going to feel so great coming out of it that it makes it worthwhile, even if it is a challenge. So yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. It's just something you've got to have a bit of faith in for yourself and try out and get better at doing, whether it's through cold showers every day. That's typically how you'd start with the Wim Hof method, if you didn't have access to like a cold tub or something. Or as the weather starts to change, it gets a lot easier too, because we can get into the river and we can get into the lakes, as in our area at least, and it gets a lot easier because the water is getting cold enough to make it worthwhile. So yeah, I just wanted to like say, whatever you're going through, try to find that community and try to find that tribe of your own, or even just a single partner that can hold you accountable to challenge and to face different challenges. Because as we develop that self-confidence that we can face our fears, as we develop that ability to get into uncomfortable situations and feel that we can persevere and not just fail at it, it's something that will help in the long run, with whatever uncertainty we are facing in the world at large, to just develop a little bit more of that ability to recognize what's in your control and dial into focusing on that the most. So if you've never been to one of these Wim Hof method workshops, if you're in the area, definitely consider coming to one of the ones that we do in the future at FlowSpa. And also just look up, there's lots of different practices with Wim Hof stuff online, or you can look up any other styles of breath work, or just create your own thing. I wrote way before I was really even into following anything Wim Hof was doing, or any of like the new research on breathing methods, like what James Nestor writes in his book Breath, or the stuff that Brian McKenzie talks about with CO2 tolerance. All of that stuff is really great as far as these different avenues you can go about with kind of mindset, breathing, and then in addition to that, whatever you want to do for like cold exposure. But I wrote in the book that I've got available on Kindle, the 21 Mindset Challenges book, is a whole list of things, going from the easiest sort of things that you can do to develop your mindset into much harder skills or harder practices. And it's kind of a roadmap to a higher level of self-confidence, a higher level of developing that growth mindset and being self-assured that you can get through anything. So maybe you want to check that out too, if you're not really sure where to go or what challenges are going to be best for you to do in this turbulent time. But other than that, just remember to keep moving forward with whatever things are making you uncomfortable, and try to push yourself with those, because it will get easier with time and it's not always going to be such a struggle. And so hopefully that's some encouragement. Hopefully you can check out some of the stuff that Wim Hof's doing, or get into one of those workshops in the future for yourself, or find just a group that you can go and kind of recreate your own, get some buddies and go down to the river, do the breathing practices, or just do some sort of deep breathing together. It's kind of cool to see the bonding experience that comes about from practicing it with other people. And so that's all I wanted to really share this week. And so thanks for tuning in as always. And until next time, dream on and find your flow.